The following is a mix of histories from the most influential street artists and my favorite street artists. Some of these guys do have real names available to the public, but I think it is better, easier, and sometimes funnier to go by their street names. Many of these people, however, do not have names available to the public because they are still technically wanted criminals. I will be referring to the artist as he, him, and his, as if they are all male. Graffiti comes from the word graffito, which is Italian for scratch. This relates to when people scratched onto cave walls and called it artwork. During the time of the Roman Empire, victors of battles would scratch their names onto buildings in cities that they had conquered. This then translated into World War II, and this is where many agree where graffiti actually started. With the invention of spray paint in 1949, graffiti became a widely known thing. During World War II, many Nazi soldiers and leaders would spray paint the Nazi symbol along with other racial slurs on walls of towns of Jewish communities that they had destroyed in the war. Many gang members and affiliates saw this as a way to dishearten people and scare them, so they started doing this in the United States along with Europe and many other parts in the world. The first widely recognized graffiti artist is Cornbread. Cornbread is from Philadelphia. Here, he simply repeated his name, tagging the words cornbread everywhere he went. After he became nationally recognized, Cornbread fell in love with a girl named Cynthia. After this, he tagged Cornbread loves Cynthia. He got the girl. When a local newspaper stated that he had died, he snuck into a zoo. He painted the words, "Cornbread is alive," on the side of an elephant. He almost escaped, but then he was arrested on the way out of the zoo. You'd think that it'd stop there after pulling off such an amazing feat, but he didn't. He snuck into an airport terminal and tagged the Jackson 5's private jet. He was born in 1953 and is still alive today. What makes Cornbread so awesome is his involvement with the city. He has partnered with the Mural Arts program, which hires prosecuted graffiti artists and puts them to work by painting murals for the city. The next artist we'll be talking about is C215. C215 was born in Paris, and he is still alive today. His job is, and I quote, "to bring attention to what has been forgotten in this world." He is a stencil artist. Stencil means you use a stencil that has been pre-made and you bring it out at night and then you do the artwork from that. Freehand is when you go out without a plan, an idea, or a stencil and you do your artwork like that. Most of his art is portraits of people that are homeless, that are beggars, that are refugees, street kids, and the elderly. There are a lot of people who try to say that they are C215's work. However, he has his own special tag. On each of his artworks, he has a little tag in the corner or in the center that is a cube with a C on top and then the numbers 215 going across the center. It is unknown if this artist is a male or a female. The next artist we have up is my personal favorite, Banksy. Banksy was born in 1974 in England. If you talk to any semi-professional to professional street artists today, they will tell you that the most commonly known artist is Banksy. The reason Banksy is so successful is because of his thinking. Banksy has not once been arrested because of his clear thinking and planning ahead. He knows all of the schedules of all the police routes and everything in between that. He knows where everyone is going to be at all times, so he plans it accordingly. He is a stencil artist, which makes his artwork a lot quicker to get onto the wall. Many say that his fame is undeserved because stencils are cheating, in their eyes. Banksy is anti-conformist, anti-capitalistic, and a comedian, and you can usually see this through his artwork. Since Banksy is a modern-day artist and still creates artwork today, we have a larger variety of his works that we can see, since street art is usually erased within a few weeks to months of its creation. You are about to see a lot of Banksy's works. I will not say anything. I will let you observe them and create your own thinking upon the pieces. As you can see, a lot of Banksy artwork is making fun of something or someone or taking a stab at something. However, Banksy does have an emotional side to him. What you are looking at right now is a little girl with a balloon being let go, and the balloon is in the shape of a heart. This artwork is done on the wall of the World Trade Center a few days after it has blown up. Seeing that this artwork disturbed many people rather than good, they decided to take it down a few days after it went up. And a few days after they took that down, this was spotted a few blocks down the street. Notice the bandages on the heart this time. The next artist we have up is King Robbo. Robbo was born in England in 1971. Many call him, and I quote, the father of thuggitude writing. Now this isn't a fact, but just a cool story that is widely accepted. Robbo's first tag was on a train, and it was one of the first tags that was ever on a train. However, the way Robbo tagged it was special. When I say on the train, I mean he was on top of the train. And he did not wait for the train to be stationed at night. He was actually doing it while the train was moving, and he was on top of the train while it was moving. During that time period, his work was easily recognizable because of the colors that he used and his signature tag, which is a crown, hence the name King Robbo. His favorite type of art was his name in different shapes and lettering and colors. At the height of his career and fame, he retired. This is where things get interesting. A few years after he retired, he was at a bar, and he met a few graffiti artists, and one of them was Banksy. Now, at this bar, they all introduced themselves, and of course everybody knew who Banksy was. And then when King Robbo introduced himself to Banksy, Banksy said he had no effing idea who he was. King Robbo then proceeded to slap him across the face and said, "Well, you won't forget me now, will ya?" Banksy picked up his glasses and left. Now, many say that this is what started the feud between the two. However, Banksy ever denied that this even happened, and that the real reason was a complete accident. What you are looking at right now is the longest standing graffiti art in the world. It was underneath a bridge in Britain for over 25 years. Banksy went up to this artwork and created his own artwork from this, and that is what you are seeing right now. Many of King Robbo's fans took offense to this, as well as Robbo. So Robbo went up to it and changed it again to make it that the painter that Banksy put up was actually writing King Robbo's name on the wall. After Banksy and his fans got wind of this, Banksy went back to the site and put FUC in front of King Robbo, and this triggered a reaction from him as well. Robbo went back to this and erased the FUC and left it as King Robbo. Bored with this, Banksy came back and painted the whole thing black and then added the picture you see now. However, it is generally accepted that this was not Banksy who did this, but one of Banksy's followers, given the sloppy techniques used. Many of Robbo's followers saw this and decided to change it yet again, putting a commonly known cat figure, referring to him as a P word, and put that his career was over. Now, things happened in different parts of the world. They all did different things to each other, but this was the center story. And the ending is kind of sweet and kind of sad. So in 2011, that was after all of this stuff, but in 2011, doing an art project that was commissioned, King Robbo fell and hit his head on the cement, and he was about 20 feet up. He was put into an induced coma and is still in the coma today, but is still alive and is expected to recover. But it has been a long time. Now, what Banksy did was he went back to this scene, painted the whole thing black again. He then drew one of King Robbo's signature pieces, a spray can, as an end to this feud. Seeing this, a bunch of Robbo's fans came to the site, did not erase what Banksy had put, and instead added a Robbo tag. Street art is much more than just graffiti and an illegal thing to try to get the bad word out there. There is actually a growing number of cities in the United States and across the entire world that have reserved buildings set aside where street artists can do their art. The one controversy that there is left in the street art community is that when cops try to erase certain things but not others. Some cops erase graffiti but not street art. And there is no real defining line between what graffiti is and what street art is. It is more of an opinion-based question if you ask me.